Spider-Man and Johnny Blaze fight and basically destroy half the Baxter Building. And Norman Osborn, or not Norman, Harry Osborn, or Harry Lyman as he's going, he's like, well, fuck, now I can't sell the fucking thing. But, oh, man, there's just so much. Legacy, I'm telling you, I don't know how much I can say this. There's so much good stuff I can see coming in Legacy that that Marvel is finally going to do right. And yes, people have been kissing his rear end on Twitter and Facebook and media for weeks. But Marvel, Bendis is gone from Marvel now. Bendis is now signed with DC Comics. Now, here's the pros and the cons. Pros. Bendis is gone from Marvel.
Yeah, exactly.
Now I will admit.
As a clown.
Now, here's the thing. I admitted this on Facebook. There are some good things that Bendis did. All right, he did do some good things. I like Miles Morales. I do like Miles Morales. I think he's a good character. I think he's got some great stories out there. I mean, he did give us Jessica Jones, which was good. But when you can't, when you are picked to helm an event, a industry event for Marvel, and you can't get right the characters, you can't remember that it's that at this point in time in the books, it's Doc Ock, Superior Spider-Man, not Peter Parker, and then you have to try to, on social media, you have to try to explain that it was actually Doc Ock, even though...
Well, not only that, enlist Dan Slott to try to help you explain what's going on, which was bullshit. And what it is at the time that's like Age of Ultron and Battle of the Atom and shit like that was coming out, Bendis was doing so many goddamn series for Marvel and for the different Marvel imprints and his own independent stuff. He was doing so much shit and consulting like on the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon and shit. And I think he produced that or something. And he was just doing so much shit. I just don't think he has time. He wasn't paying any attention to what the fuck he's even writing.
And so many people I saw, and like I said, I'm not knocking the guy that much because there are he did do some good stuff. I mean, but when everybody I saw, I don't know. Maybe it's because Chief and I are old school. Maybe it's because we've been collecting comics all of our lives. You know, our books are freaking old. They're freaking, the pages are sometimes yellowed. You know, when we touch them, the ink doesn't freaking smear. But so many people I was saying that I saw were like, if it wasn't for the Ultimate Universe, I never would have gotten into comics, which is great. I want more people into comics. I do. I want to preface that. I want more people into comics because the more comics that are being sold, that's the more comics that are being written. But I hated the Ultimate Universe.
Yeah, I never liked the Ultimates. I bought the first issue of Ultimate Spider-Man. This is before Miles Morales, so you can't come at me and say I don't just because of Miles Morales, whatever.
Yeah.
This was Peter Parker Spider-Man. I read the first issue of Ultimate Spider-Man, and I didn't like it. I never bought another one.
Yeah, I never liked the changes. I didn't like the Ultimate X-Men. You know, it just wasn't. It just didn't feel right with me. And then when he's writing Civil War 2.
That was horrible. That's one of the. That was the straw that broke the camel's back, and I canceled every Marvel book I was getting.
Well, the whole thing with Civil War 2 was, in my eyes, was Bendis saying the old heroes suck, the new heroes are where it's at. That seemed to be the whole.
They killed Banner with an arrow, which is a bitch way to die, and I hated that. And then totally writing Tony Stark against character really bothered me.
And then the whole thing just culminates in Tony Stark going into like a coma thing. That way, Riri Williams Ironheart can take over the title, you know, which Bendis was also writing. That to me was just completely. That to me was a slap in the face. Civil War 2 to me was a slap in the face to every comic book fan of Marvel's for the last 60+ years. Now, I will say,
and it was pointless. It was absolutely pointless. The whole arc was completely pointless. And then they extended it into like months after it was supposed to be over. From what I remember, I thought they extended out. They needed like another. They added an extra issue to it or something, and it just got ridiculous.
And
he wrote himself into a corner, and he had to add an extra issue to it to write himself out.
Yeah,
that's Bendis. That's the laziness and why I don't like Bendis, because he's just. He puts too much on his plate and he can't pull it off. I think he wants to be a Hickman and he's not a Hickman.
Now, Nick Spencer brought. I will say this: Nick Spencer brought some stuff back with Secret Empire. As I said, to me, Nick Spencer's Secret Empire basically was a middle finger that everything you're doing at Marvel is stupid. This is the way it needs to be. Bringing back classic Cap, bringing back classic characters, and then you got Jason Aaron, who writes Legacy, which brings. I mean, he brought back Logan. He brought back the Wolverine in a fantastic fucking way.
Yeah. What was it, Infinity Stone?
He's got an Infinity Stone. And the fact that they went to where he was buried, and it was just shattered. The adamantium was shattered.
He just broke out. And we also got my favorite part of it, which is Hulk, it's time to come home, over the radio. Which to me, it says... we've detected they say something to the effect, we've detected your biosignature, we know you're alive, Hulk, it's time to come home. It would not be Banner's biosignature if they were talking about Cho.
And
this is planet, what is the Korrigar, not Korrigar, what's the...
Well, we know
Scar, what's the planet called? Sakaar or something?
Well, we know that Cho is going to Sakaar. We know that. That's in the books.
I'm thinking it's going to be they're going to grab the wrong Hulk by mistake.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure Banner's... Because they're reading his biosignature and said so they evidently knew he was dead because they said, we know you're alive, which implies that it's Banner. And it also talks about his biochemical or biosignature or whatever. So I don't think that they would get the same bio readings from Cho that they would from Banner.
Right. So... and there's been talks that the Hulk will be coming back at that point, and there's been talks that because of the Hulk's success in all the Marvel movies, Marvel is in talks of maybe trying again with a solo Hulk film.
Please do, and put somebody in it worthy of the Hulk. Make him fight MODOK and AIM.
Yeah, or the leader.
The leader, or do Red Hulk. Have Thunderbolt Ross become Red Hulk. Have him fight Red Hulk.
Or even the Wendigo. I'll even take the Wendigo.
Just hold off on that until we get Fox, and then do the whole Wolverine
Wendigo. Yeah, I see.
Wendigo Hulk storyline.
I see where you're going with that. I see. But, so Bendis is going over to DC Comics. He signed a multi-year deal. It's been all over the news. People kissing rear end. Now, right now we've got two big DC events in the, one is going on and the other one is coming in the next week. We got Metal, helmed by Snyder.
Which is fucking brilliant. I don't care what anybody says. It's the darkest fucking Justice League shit you're ever going to read.
And then you've got Doomsday Clock coming. So you got two huge, and Doomsday Clock is Johns, right? It's Jeff Johns, right?
Yes, and I have read I don't know what kind of truth there is to it, but Tom King has come out and said yes, Metal and everything, Doomsday Clock, Metal, everything is all tied together.
And
these two events are simultaneously going to be going on, but they're also tied together in some way. And
I had to tell somebody on a Facebook page, because they were like, oh, they'll probably take Snyder off of Batman and give it to Bendis, and I had to say, Snyder's not on Batman. Tom King is on Batman. Snyder is on Metal. So if you're going to make a statement like that, get your facts straight, because that proved to me you don't know anything about what's going on currently in DC Comics.
But, no, you know what? Even if they give Bendis Batman, give him a fucking off. Don't give him the title. Give him something else.
Give him Tales of the
Dark Knight.
Batgirl. Just give him Batgirl.
That's perfect for Bendis. Give him Batgirl.
Don't touch Nightwing, and don't you touch Red Hood. Because I don't want Red Hood to all of a sudden become, I don't like what they're saying, I'm going to go ahead and start tweeting and shit. No, Red Hood is fuck you, I shoot you. Fuck you, pay me. That's Red Hood. But I say Bendis should go to the Young Animals imprint, because to me, that's more his writing, his motif, let me put it that way, would be the Young Animals.
Yeah, and he could do anything there. Like he's got like indie stories that he does. He could do anything he wants. He doesn't have to stick with the heroes. Put him over there in his own little playpen and keep him away from everything important.
Give him a little place he can play on that side of the playground. You can't come over here with the cool kids on the monkey bars. You stay over there in the sandbox. And I admit, I don't read the Young Animals. I read the first couple issues of Doom Patrol, and I didn't like it because that was not Doom Patrol.
No, it's not. It wasn't nearly what I wanted out of it at all.
And then you have this other one called Mother Panic, who is supposedly this new hero in Gotham. Gotham has one hero, and then his frickin' family. All right, that's all you need. Batman and the Bat family, and maybe Gotham Girl. I like Gotham Girl.
Well, as evidenced by the fact that Bruce, when actually in the very issue, in that arc with Gotham Girl, is the first time Bruce has ever called the League to Gotham to help him.
Yeah.
Because Gotham was there, and Gotham was like Superman level strength, and he couldn't handle it. So he had Alfred call the League. Yeah, Alfred even had to say, "Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure you want me to call the League?" And Batman's like, "Make the call." And finally Superman shows up and grabs Gotham by the cape and is kind of holding him up in the air.
Yeah. So I don't get some of those stories. Like they had Shade the Changeling Girl. Cave Carson has a cybernetic eye.
Yeah.
To me that seemed like we're going to take old characters that had history and we're going to completely flip them on their heads 180 and change them completely.
Yeah, I guess that's the way to do it because that leaves, when you put it on Young Animal, that leaves it open in the regular DC universe that the other writers can still use those characters, and the Young Animal stuff is out of continuity and they can do whatever they want.
It's like an Elseworld. It's like one of the Elseworld stories.
Yeah, and we'll have multiverses. Just say multiverse when things get tough.
But like I said, I acknowledge that there are some good things that Bendis did well. I mean, without Bendis, we wouldn't have Jessica Jones. We wouldn't have Jones marrying Luke Cage. We wouldn't get those awesome.
I kind of like this Power series that he did that wasn't really connected to Marvel.
Yeah, that was fine. But issue-wise, I mean, he can do good on single issues. Just don't give him an event.
No, he can't concentrate on an event.
Don't give him when you like Marvel's event guys. Right now, I'm taking Hickman out of the equation because we know Hickman's not writing anything for any of the big companies right now.
No.
But right now, if you're talking about event guys, it's Jason Aaron. That's number one. Jason Aaron is number one.
That Legacy one-shot is just amazing.
Amazing. I wouldn't be opposed. I don't know if they would, but I think Cullen Bunn could do something.
Cullen Bunn is good. He's better than he gets credit for.
He does. He's really good. His work on X-Men Blue is great. The stuff he's done with X-Men Blue has been
his Deadpool really series that were pretty.
Yeah.
I think they're pretty Marvel essential stuff.
They are. But those two, I mean, Nick Spencer, he impressed me with Secret Empire. Now over on DC, Snyder Johns. I'm sorry. Snyder Johns. Tinian.
Tinian, Tom King. Tom King's currently my favorite, actually. I love Batman more than ever. I think Batman right now is currently the best it's probably been.
It has, yeah.
I consider Snyder part of that, though. I mean, not just Tom King, but what Snyder did with Batman was reinvigorate that character and write like 4 of the best arcs that he's done in like 30 years.
Yeah.
And then Tom King took over just. I've never seen such a smooth transition from one writer to another and continue on. And to not mess with it, but to put his own spin on it too, and to change it slightly, but it still feels like the same character.
And especially when you go and you renumber it back to a number 1 after the New 52, but that King's Batman that he's writing has so many ties to, any other writer could have said we're just gonna go in this whole direction, but that King has so much tying in with Snyder with what he did in the New 52, with the Court of Owls and all this other stuff. It's just fantastic. The whole, like I said, most of the Bat family books are great. They got a great team on most of those Batman books.
Detective is good. I like the idea that they had with Detective, and now it's starting to get more back to, since Tim Drake is back, I think it's going to be more centered around Tim Drake and the Bat family.
Yeah.
But Detective was I liked the idea that they had with the Belfry in Detective, where they had Tim Drake design that new kind of watch post where they were training the new kind of Batman family of new recruits with Clayface and like Orphan and shit. Like I like that.
I like Red Hood. Like I said.